Well, top of the morning to you. You've reached the Tez Mania Reactions channel. Like, subscribe, make some comments if you can. So we're going to get right into this. The way this format's been working out. Stay away from the copyright stuff and still be able to kind of do what I want. Keep it simple. I'm going to go ahead and do a song from George Strait, do it in the karaoke style, and then talk about what I thought back then and what I think now. I believe this was 1995 when he wrote it, which was quite a while ago. Great song. One of my many favorites of George Strait. And let's get into it. We'll talk about it and see where it takes us. Like I said, this is the Tasmania Reaction channel. Like and subscribe and comment. Will help me do better if you guys are enjoying this. But let's get into it. It started way back in 3rd grade. I used to sit behind Emmylou Hay. Pink dress, matching bow, and a ponytail. She kissed me on the school bus, but told me not to tell. The next day I chased around the playground, across the monkey bars and merry-go-round. And Emmylou got caught passing me a note. Before the teacher took it, I read what she wrote. Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to take me by the hand. If you want to, I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. Now she's grown up and she's my wife. Still like 2 kids with stars in our eyes. Ain't much changed, I still chase Emmylou up and down the hall, around the bed in our room. Last night I took her out in a wild limousine. 20 years together, she still gets to me. I can't believe it's been that long ago when we got started with just one little note. Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to take me by the hand. If you want to, I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. Do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well then don't be afraid to take me by the hand. If you want to, I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. 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 Alright, so that's it, guys. Man, I really enjoyed that song first time I heard it. It's a good song. Let's see, what I was at, just getting out of high school, I guess, something like that. So yeah, I was actually gonna this is a good song too as well, but I'll just leave that up there for now. So that was the other song I was debating on doing for the subject that I wanted to talk about, but that's more of a deep song. Obviously, I mean, let's go through lyrics real quick. Let's talk about that. Okay, so it started way back in 3rd grade. I used to sit beside Emmylou Hayes, or behind Emmylou Hayes. Pink dress, a matching bow, and her ponytails. She kissed me on the school bus and told me not to tell. Obviously, 3rd grade, cute little, kids getting together. You don't want anybody to know. So, of course, next day I chased around the playground, across the monkey bar to the merry-go-round. And Emmy Lou got caught passing me a note. Before the teacher took it, I read what she wrote, which guy must have good eyes because she kind of wrote a lot. But it said, do you love me? Do you want to be my... Let me remember they're kids, right? So, do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? And if you do, well, then don't be afraid to take me by the hand. If you take me by the hand if you want to. I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. So, I don't know about you, but I know I got letters, and I think I did get a couple of notes. Got caught passing some notes. It's interesting because, so this is I was out of high school when this came out. I'm old, and so just thinking back on it, and of course I just like George Strait music. I didn't know much about him personally. Back in the day, we didn't have internet, like be able to pick up stuff. But this is 95, right? It related. The first time I heard it related to me because ended up dating a girl in the second grade till about the 8th, until I moved from the state I was in, and actually we were just friends. Obviously, we were just really good friends up to that point. So real attractive girl. As I was at that age, I thought she was really cute, and so I started in second grade, right? So listening to this way back in third grade, I used to sit beside Emmy Lou Hayes, right? So I used to sit next, and actually I did. I sat behind her, actually. I did, yeah, because I always play with her hair, whatever. But yeah, so that kind of caught on to me. Well, obviously, I didn't stay together with her. Like I said, I moved out, and we were just really good friends. So that kind of hit me. Like, oh, it's a cute little story, And George Strait, he's got a lot of good songs out there, a lot of breakup songs, whatever. Well, it's interesting that George Strait is, I don't know if he had a, I don't know, I don't believe they were that young, but I do believe that he's been with his wife since, I think, high school or something like that, and he's pretty successful, pretty popular singer, and still can imagine any relationship. It's not easy to stay together, to work through everything, but then to have him be who he is with, can imagine millions of females throwing themselves at him and stuff like that, and somehow, who knows? I don't know how everything went, but it's pretty cool that somebody stayed together that long, no matter how they have stayed together. So I think that's pretty cool. And so then all of a sudden, here, I gotta move this real quick. Okay, and so then you get into the next verse. It says, now we've grown up and she's my wife. Still like two kids with stars in our eyes. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of saying that they're still, like still giddy with each other. I'm going to say kids, but I kind of get the idea that he's saying they're still giddy with each other. Not much change. I still chase Emmy Lou up and down the hall, around the bed in our room, which means, obviously they're still together, still interacting. To me, it sounds cute, and it is, but I think it also just kind of says what you need to do to keep in the relationship. Keep it vibrant, keep it young, keep it giddy. Then it says, last night took her out in white limousine, 20 years together, and she still gets to me. That's a strong statement there. And the guy's still saying that there's just something about her still. You see her, oh, that's my wife, or he's proud to be her husband. That's pretty cool. And he's like, you can't believe it's been that long ago when we got first started with just one little note, which was that note: do you love me? Do you want to be my friend? Yeah, it's a cute story, but definitely marriage is pretty tough, pretty tough to go through. But man, the songs are like, it's cute, but then it's also like, pretty powerful if you read it. So like I said, when I first read it, or first heard the song, I thought back to when I was in second grade, and I had a friend, and goofy girlfriend boyfriend thing, which was goofy, whatever. But we were just friends, like I said, obviously, just kid friends and all that stuff, and like we're friends for a while. For those from second grade, eighth grade, and whatever, and then kind of lost touch. A lot harder to keep in touch back then than it is nowadays. So man, just reading that song. But then as I got older, just reading this song kind of makes me look back on now having a 30-year relationship, 25 years together. So this says 20. So I've been 30 years. And a matter of fact, I was just talking to, we were having a disagreement, and we were just talking, and I didn't want to be, like I said, I want to be in a fight. I wanted to actually talk a little more, but I was just saying, just more the point of, man, it's just so crazy that there's other things that people see in relationships, but people don't see what goes on day in and day out in an everyday life of a relationship. And like me and my wife right now, shoot, I'll sit with her and I'll watch, I don't know, 90 Day Fiance or Love Island, all these goofy shows, the Tourette's Girl, I watched, I don't know how many 90 Day Fiancés are out there, but that one, the Love on a Spectrum, stuff like that. But my whole point is, if I'm home and she's home, I want to be with her. If she goes upstairs, I would like to lay in bed with her and watch TV. If we're sitting on the couch downstairs, I want to be on the couch sitting next to her. Don't have to be rubbing on or holding hands or whatever. I mean, we have a couch, so we got our little space. But sometimes she'll lay down, I'll lay down, whatever. But just being close to me, that's extremely important. She's my one. She's my my partner through all this. And so I was just talking to her, and as like I said, we were in the discussion, and I was just said, it's just crazy how a month ago, we actually went out, and I think I talked about this in another video, so I'll be quick about it. But we went to Newtown for my daughter's softball stuff, so it was just her and I had like the best time. I mean, it was like seriously. I mean, yes, are we intimate? Yeah, definitely, because that's what husband and wives do. But she is like my best bud. I really have a good time with her. Still to this day, I mean, still being able to goof, make her laugh. She makes me laugh. Shoot, I don't even know how, just because after that day and we're talking a little more, not that we didn't talk, but I mean, like, as in relationship communicating, we're communicating a little more. But I've noticed that like the last month or so, man, we've literally said the same thing, like not finishing our sentence, like literally said the same thing come out of our mouth, like we're in choir or something. Like, it's scary. One time we did it like 3 times in a row, and I said, okay, we need to stop. That's goofy, But stuff like that doesn't happen to somebody who's been together for 3 years, 5 years. We've been together 30, and it's just interesting how so many outside influences can come in, and they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And then especially you got somebody who will sit there and maybe be married for 3 years or so, and they try to explain to you what we need to do. And because we've been together so long, I actually will listen. You never know. Maybe something they say may say something, but so far, none of it, because I went through that 27 years ago. So, and when you're as old as I've been in my marriage, and your marriage is only 3 years, you might want to check yourself and mind your own business to a point. But I mean, their heart's in the right place. I can't be that big of a jerk. Maybe maybe they do have something to say. But that's kind of what now I get out of the story. In the beginning, or the song in the beginning, it was cute and whatever. Now I'm to the point where, man, I see what he's saying, and it's, just like it says, no kidding, man. What is it? What's the exact words? It says 20 years together, and she still gets to me. That did not mean what it means to me now. When I first heard it in 95, it did not mean what it meant there. And what's interesting is, if you notice, 95, it's 25 now. So that's 30 years ago. So the same year this came out was the same year started dating my wife. So, but even then, that didn't mean what it means now, obviously, so I kind of get that. So that's kind of cool. I personally think like old country music, George Strait, Merle Haggard, um, Hank Williams, George Jones, Alan Jackson, Garth. You get in some of those. Like I don't even like I'm not a huge fan of Garth Brooks, but I like a couple of his songs. But even just reading some of their songs, some of their lyrics, I'm like, man, that's a damn good song. Morgan Wallen's got some good writing. I just don't like pop country, or I don't like the new country as much as I do. That's why I'm a fan of Zach Top. He's brought in the old steel guitar and fiddle on new country music. But still doesn't mean that there's not good songs out there, because there are good songs out there. Kane Brown and everything. But then also I listen to a lot of oldie but goodies, whatever. But man, I tell you what, right now it'd be kind of hard for me to do some of those karaoke's. But I might have to do it just to. I'll probably make a fool of myself. Maybe you guys can laugh and make some comments, whatever. But I'll still go over it, because like the song I was actually going to do was A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, because we're about to talk about more of this subject, because but Thin Line Between Love and Hate, oh, it's a good song, but it's old school. It's got to be, I think it's like 60s or something. It's got to be. I could look it up. But so what I kind of want to get into is kind of just dealing with this long relationships. And so I made a video, the last video I came out with. So I've been doing more research on this one. Probably not going to show, because I've also been busy doing other things. So there's been a gap, probably about a week. I haven't released anything or something, but I'm just getting started. A lot of things are going on. Being busy, concerts, family life, work, stuff like that, I had some comments that from what I said to the last time I made, it was kind of like a relationship, how I would talk to my son about being in relationships and what to look for and what he needs to do and this, that, and the other. And I said in there that I also have daughters, so I have talked in how I've expressed things to my daughters. So I started getting, well, are you going to do that video? Because, you say that you're not sexist, or you're not, like, man, I forget what his name is, the brothers, whatever, but like a fresh and fit person. I'm not like one of those, Andrew Tate. Yeah, I'm not an Andrew Tate guy, even though I like a lot of stuff that those guys say, but sometimes they just take it too far, and it's always at the, just because they're guys, I guess they got to put the women down. I don't like that, just because, well, for one, I'm still married and have respect for the wife, and then I also have girls too. So I just thought I'd get into it, at least from that point, because we're kind of just talking about relationships. So obviously that song is kind of something that we want to shoot for sure. That's what I always wanted to shoot for. So, and obviously I have it, but trust me, it hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been just me. It's also been, the one thing I told my wife just recently in our discussion though too. I watch some of these breakup channels, these divorces, and these women hitting the wall, and meeting with the and I'm trying to get Juan going through this. So you got Chad, Juan, and Tyrone, all right? But you get all these whatever, and then they think, oh, I can leave my husband in this, and all of a sudden they leave. These guys don't want that. They wanted a married woman that would sleep with them and then leave in the morning or whatever. So there's a lot of that out there. So I see all these breakups for, so idiotic reasons and stuff. I mean, one case, all my husband does is work, and we don't get to blah, blah, blah. Well, he's providing for you, anyway, don't want to get into that, but it's stuff that I see all the time. So I even told my wife that, in our discussion, it was just kind of like, hey, I appreciate that you also fight, because I fight for this as well. And it doesn't take one to fight. It takes both. Okay, so I want to go through, like, say some of the things that I would say to my daughter. Okay, so we're gonna go through. I'm gonna say worst things for a female or wife, or if I was talking to my daughter per se, that I think. First, definitely without a doubt, girlfriends. Girlfriends, I don't think are very helpful. Especially if they're not, if you're looking to get married, or you're in a serious relationship and you're hanging around with a bunch of single, no, A girlfriend, yeah, maybe. Girlfriends, no, bad. As far as I'm concerned, uh, like I tell, well, if they got all the answers in the world, if they want to be married, why are they single? Okay, I guess they could still. Oh, got stuff going on. I guess you can always be out there. Oh well, I don't want blah blah blah. Well then, good. Then you don't want it. I don't care. But the girl, I'm talking to a woman, like for instance, my daughters who want to be married. So if you don't want to, good. Shut up. I don't care. Then don't talk to me. If you don't want it, then hey, you're a strong, powerful woman. Go enjoy your soloness until you decide you want whatever you want, or you change what you want. You want to stay single? You can stay single all you want. So, just girlfriends just cause too much drama, man. I mean, the best way I could describe it, it's like I always say, it's like crabs in a bucket. If you ever been to a ports call anywhere where crabs come in buckets, whatever, they don't have to put tops on those buckets. They put crabs in there, and as soon as one crab's almost out, another crab or two crabs will bring them down. That's what a group of girlfriend friends do. I've seen it numerous times. I've talked to many women, and before I even get to what I just said, sometimes they even tell me they're horrible. I don't even listen to those. I like hanging out with them, but I don't even listen to them. Hear that all the time. And if you want some examples, as I would tell my daughter, that's so many reasons why I understand there is a husbands of whatever, I don't know, but there's so many wives of Atlanta, wives of Chicago, wives of Utah, wives of blah blah blah, because it's just drama. And it's just, to me, one girlfriend is good. Having a group of girlfriends, it's just too much drama. You bring that drama into your relationship. It doesn't even have to deal with your relationship. Women will bring that to their partner and start talking to them about what's going on there, and like, what are we supposed to do? If you're dumb enough to try to solve a problem, and I'll get back talking to my son, don't solve a female problem. They don't want you to solve every freaking problem in the world. If they need you to open up a jar or something, that's solving a problem. They want you to solve it. They want you to open it up. That's fine. When they talk to you about other things, sit there and listen. Nod, okay, and listen, because you may ask you questions, but they don't want you to answer with trying to solve anything or saying, well, I always thought so and so was a B anyway, so yada yada yada. No, you don't want that either, because then well, she's my friend, but I'm mad at her, but you shouldn't say that about her or whatever. I've been through it. I've done that. Don't do it. Don't try to solve any female's issue if they come talking to you. If they come talking to you, you should feel fucking honored that they're even talking to you. And sit there and just say, okay, she wants to share it with me. Okay, I'll listen. No problem. Listen. They don't expect you to solve it, nor do they most of the time want you to solve it. I don't even think one time in my life I've ever solved a female's problem. So I learned that way early. I thought maybe I was smart enough to actually be the one that could. No, I learned real quick. No, I can't. So eliminate that real quick. Now I'm already talking to the boy side. Okay, so now I'm talking to well, okay, so this almost gets into it too. Okay, so now back to these are advice for females. So females, say somebody who's married or in a serious relationship, right? Don't seek advice from females. I just don't. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but I'm telling you, don't get advice from just females. Maybe your one friend, because I said females, maybe your one friend that is your best friend. Okay, I got it. But you got to be honest about, if you want her to be honest, you got to be honest. Just don't say the bad shit that happens. And that's what kind of ends up happening. Like, to be honest with you, a lot of times I've been talked to by people who are married about some stuff, and it's a female, and they'll come up to me and they say, man, this is going on, and I'll turn around, well, hold on a second, well, what's different, what's going on here, like, all of a sudden, oh, well, he's going out when he wants to, or he's going out more, or, maybe he's playing video games more, or whatever, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? Oh, well, I have been hanging out with my friends a lot more. Well, what do you expect them to do then? A lot of times I always try to see, even though it looks like women are empowering their friends, and a woman says that, and then all of a sudden, oh, well, he's a jerk. Oh, come on, girl. You don't need that. You don't need somebody like him. That's just him being so selfish, blah, blah, blah. No, you come to a guy that's actually in a relationship and wants to hold on to this relationship, and you come and talk to him sincerely about things and be like, yeah, well, this is what a guy not only will not let you just say your side of the story, he's gonna go at least me, I will go in and say, well, hold on a second. What are you, what's going on your side? What are you providing? Are you there all the time? When he goes out, are you go, oh, well, no, I've been going out with my friends. Okay, well, hold on. Are you deciding to go out with your friends before he is? Well, some of the time. Okay, then what do you want him to do? You're going to get all mad at him because he's out, whatever. Maybe he's staying out later than you are, or whatever, or or who knows, or maybe he's becoming friends with people you don't like too. Then dump your friends and hang out with him. That's what you're married. You're supposed to do that, right? So, or a lot of time, oh well, we don't do things as much as we used to, and whatever. And I'm like, well, what's different? Well, he got this promotion at work, and blah blah blah. Then I'm gonna say, well, he got a promotion at work. He's trying to make things better for you, so he's got more demand. Do you want a guy? Do you like living the way you're living? Or would you rather roll back to the less pay, more time? And maybe that isn't the answer. Yes, I would actually like him to do less work and stay where he's at, try not to get another promotion, but not like working, burning the midnight oil or whatever. Then I would say, then tell him that. Tell him that. And if he's the real husband that you want to keep and you want to hold, he's going to listen to you and modify something. Not say he's going to do what needs to be done because that work might be what he has to do at the time. I don't know, but you can talk about it. But I'm telling you, I'm going to ask you, what are you doing different? What has happened in the whole relationship different? Just saying. Oh, and one thing, women, stop. I mean, I'm going to get to the things that women need to do, but I would say, well, there's two sides of this. Because I would say, like, to my daughters and whatever, if you want to be married to a man and you want it to keep going as long as you can, don't stop having sex with your man. Don't stop that. Don't do. I get it's not like it was when you guys first got together, and your libido, his libido, I don't even know if that's the correct term, but has gone down. Maybe his hasn't. Whatever. You are his wife. Ultimately, I'm just saying, if he ain't getting it from you, he's gonna be getting it from somewhere. And please don't brag to your friends about how, I just cut him off. We haven't had sex in like what, 2 months or something like that. No, because no, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. Whatever reason that you've come up with. Excuse me, I'll go. Do all this honey boo boo action, whatever. Don't brag to your friends. And I would say ultimately, women, don't brag to your friends about you not having sex with them. Don't brag about how good he is or how bad he is or sizes. Or I would not as a female, I would not talk to your friends about anything in your bedroom, because trust me, there's a good saying too. You never know how nasty a woman can be until you're a side bitch. Meaning the man is the side bitch. Because, I'm trying to do this. Because women can be ruthless. Obviously, we all know men are dogs and all that good stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's out there. But you never know how dirty, how conniving, or how ruthless a female can be until you're a side bitch. Because stuff I've heard from my friends, young guys, this day and age where, women need to find their fountain of youth with some youngin' and they're married and they're 30 something, and then they go for some young kid because maybe the husband's working, working too much, this, that, and the other. But you have that stuff going on. But I don't want to get away from what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is that also, because of knowing that, certain friends might hear something, and I know many of you have heard it before. All of a sudden, friends are hearing they've always had a liking to your husband. Now they know that he's not getting any. All of a sudden, you go on a week, on a girls' night, on a girls' week or something, and all of a sudden, for some reason, this girl isn't invited. So she gets all pissy, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, they, in the scenario I just came up, all of a sudden your man somewhere else. Well, that girl's not with you because you guys didn't invite her. All of a sudden she walks in. Oh shit, there's Gary. Hey Gary, what's going on? How are things? Oh yeah, well, Emily was telling me, you guys are going through some stuff, and well, bro, one thing, trust me, it's the reason why country music is out there. There's many songs about that. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you, I tell my daughters, don't talk about the bedroom to any of your friends. Keep that to yourself. Fine, if you got one girlfriend, I understand sometimes you got to get it out too, but I'm telling you, same scenario. A lot of best girls too. A lot of best girls do their girl wrong too. Trust me. So worst things for husbands, I think. Worst thing for guys can be a group of guys once the relationship's over. Once it's truly over. So, like, for instance, even like a group of guys are like totally different. Like, I've seen more times than not that a guy will be out and we'll all be hanging out, and guy will come out and we'll be like, oh man, me and Susie had a fight, blah blah blah, said and the other, yada yada yada. And if any ounce of any, I don't know, infertility or shoot, what's that word? Say some girl comes over, is like kind of hitting on them a little bit. Man, there'll be most guys out there that are in a relationship like myself, be like, dude, get your ass home. You got a good woman. You guys are together. Man, get home. You're not gonna hear, oh, you're so empowered. You do this, whatever. It'd be like, man, what did you do? What did you do? Well, I drank too much last night. I came home. She got on me. Man, get your ass home, man. You messed up. What, are you gonna come out here and do it again? Dude, you got a good wife, man. You know you got a good wife. You're happy where you're at. It's only gonna lead to another negative. Stop making, dude. Go home. Get your ass home, dude. Matter of fact, I'll give you a ride home. Dude, I've seen that so many times. However, when it is over, and the girls, and we know the girl's done something so wrong, man. As soon as I can tell you, most of the time, men are not gonna help another man get back with his woman. They're gonna be like, nah, screw that B, nah. Oh, nah, bro. Strip club. Let's do this. Hey, you know that girl, Melissa? Man, she's always been looking at you, dog. Matter of fact, man, I think she's over there. Let's go buy her a drink. Let's go talk to her about. Trust me. Guys are just different. I'm telling you. Okay. Another thing for men. This is just me personally. Men, not saying don't do them, but try to stay away from meds. Try to stay away from medication. The best thing men can do is find a way, and that includes alcohol. Alcohol's not, to me, can be. Back in the day, you used to call it medicine as well. You may want to think that that's your medicine. No, find ways of getting through issues, whether it's your relationship, work, whatever. Whether it's lifting weights, maybe even. I know video games can get addicting, but I think anything can get addicting, but I do know many people I know have broken up because of video game addiction and stuff like that. So that's a tough one. But I know a lot of guys. I still know a lot of guys that play. Actually, girls too play video games, and that's their thing. They're cool like that, right? So workout, video games, cycling, running. I don't know, reading books, whatever. Find some way and this is for men. Really, I mean, I'd say that for women as well. But especially, man, the woman's body with the female body with the hormones and the monthly visitor and having kids, and I'd give them, I honestly give them a break. I would still say the same thing, but I would never talk to them about finding different ways. And plus I'm not a woman. A woman, I don't understand all that stuff. So I would never say that. But for men, man, you guys we need to stay sane as much as we can so we can stay strong for our families. And medication is not the way. Marijuana, no. Alcohol, no. I mean, I dabble in alcohol, and every now and then I use that as some form of medicine, if you will, and that's not good. It's not good either. So, highly recommend against that. Also, let's see. So that's one thing for me. Ensure that the woman that you're with actually checks many boxes. You're not, because I feel just like Kevin Samuel said, women control sex, men control relationships. So if you want to have a relationship, you want to pop the question, you want to be engaged, no, you're probably most likely not going to find a woman that checks every box, but it better be in the high 80s, 85% of what you're looking for. And also, you know, would she give? And when I say looking for, I'm also saying, would she be a good mom? Would she be a good wife? You know, is she gonna grow with you? You know, because no matter what, people are gonna change no matter what. But at least you got a good foundation. So ensure that they check a lot of your boxes that you need. Definitely. So those are the worst things if you end up dating or end up locking somebody down and they have not checked many boxes. Okay, so for both this is for both men and women though too. I always hear she stop doing this, he stopped doing that, blah blah blah. Kind of said that earlier on the female side, where you know he doesn't do this, blah blah blah. Well, this is a question that I would kind of there. I just have it down for both, but it goes both ways because men can do the same thing. But you need to ask yourself, what have you done? What have you changed? Have you tried doing anything? You know, be that devil's advocate. You know, jump outside your relationship. Say, oh, if this is my friend's relationship, what would I tell her to do if I knew the whole thing? Like, you know, did she stop cooking breakfast or cooking dinner? Or did she stop texting them while they were both at work? It's if they both work, you know. Maybe that was a bad thing to say about cooking dinner or whatever, because then all of a sudden it gets into, oh, that women are only there to cook dinner or whatever. But I'm just saying, you know, that he stopped cooking dinner for you. That he used to do that before, you know, you as a guy, that you stop cooking dinner, that you stop making your Sunday breakfast for her like you normally would or whatever, or are you just letting the grass go like crazy? You know, things like that. What have you, oh man, you know what? Shit, man, I've been doing this. Yeah. So maybe she's not necessarily just retaliating, but maybe because I'm doing that, she's falling off because she's like, well, if he's doing that, then I'm going to start doing this less, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets that, and it starts going. You need to bring that back every now and then and reset yourself. To me, I've never been a fan of therapy. I just feel that anything that I've ever seen is a lot on individual. Like, you need to grow your own strength. You need to be your own person. Me personally, as soon as I'm talking about marriage. When you're solo, oh yeah, no, I got you, man. Go to therapy. Be the best person you could be, and all this stuff. However, and this just could be my my Catholic background and whatever, and you know, I'm not pushing church or whatever. I'm just saying, you know, just seeing this and then seeing people get help. A lot of times I've seen people get help at church because it's pretty much based on the union. It's based on a man and a woman, and not necessarily, oh, you need to grow yourself, he needs to grow himself, and then come back together. No, you guys are together. You guys are going to work this out together. Doesn't mean the female can't have her time to have some fun with friends. Doesn't mean he can't go out and have time with his friends or whatever it ends up being. There's some things guys can do solo. Doesn't mean that he can't have his video game time, that she can't have her video game time, that he can't go out and lift weights or whatever. Doesn't mean she can't go out and play pickleball or with her friends or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Dancing, and he goes out, watches some goofy movie or something. I don't know. Doesn't mean he can't do that, but it means therapy should be together. And all I ever hear, oh, well, and of course, it's what I hear, so it's just me. But this would be, as I would tell my daughters and all that, say, if that was going to be probably your last resort, I wouldn't see why not doing it. But ultimately, I'm sure you go to a therapist where therapy is going to be based on a bond, and see if that works out for you. Because I think that's what it needs to be. You can't once you're married, you're never solo again. Any action that you do is a family action. I'm not saying you can't do anything, you can't make a decision on your own, but ultimately major decisions should be talked to, no matter man or woman. But ultimately, every action that you do, even if you make the decision solo, affects your family, man or woman. So think about that. So things that I think women should look for, as I would be talking to my daughter, right? Definitely, and this is from Jordan Peterson, this term, which is look for an agreeable man. Not a jerk, not a piece of crap, not a bad boy, if you will, but somebody who is not just agreeable. So it doesn't mean that they're not agreeable, but you don't want the guy that's always going to be like, yeah, whatever you need, whatever you want, babe, whatever you want, babe. You know, a lot of things he might be, okay, whatever. Kind of like me, like I say, 90 to 95% of the stuff that happens in my household, it's my wife's choice. I'm like, yeah, okay. But there's that 5% that I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going vacation here. We can't go vacation here. We're not going to get that car. We're not going to do this. We're not going to, paint the outside house this color, but I don't give a crap inside. We can do whatever we want, even though I didn't care about the house color, to be honest with you. But, but things like that, don't look for an unagreeable man, somebody who is going to have a backbone to a point. Like I said, that's totally different from a jerk. It's just somebody that is going to be strong. It's going to be your rock. It's going to make you think. And it doesn't mean that he's the boss and what he says it goes, but you understand where he's coming from. If you need to talk about it more. Maybe you can get him to agree, but he'll also, if he's the type of guy that I would want my daughter to look for, he would hear what she has to say, and then he would also let her understand his point of view of why he doesn't like whatever the situation is. And this gets to the point of the sex thing. As talking to my daughters, if you want to be married for the rest of your life with somebody, be prepared to have sex with your man. That is something that just tell them, plain and simple. So, guys, like I said, what was that old saying? Keep his balls empty and his stomach full. That's pretty much it. But plan doesn't mean you got to be freak and do all this other crazy stuff. Whatever. Just don't close up. Don't close up shop. Leave it open. I'm seeing Gary Owen. He was just saying, "Come on, ladies. All right, I'm tired. Really? You can't give me 5 minutes?" And then he joked. And it's just like, well, some of us just need 3.5 minutes. Shoot, I don't care. I'm like, really, ladies, you just can't go over and, okay, go ahead. I mean, even that, I'm telling you. And it isn't just action, though, too. It's just also that a man wants to feel one with his woman. I mean, if you are one, it just that connection, that's a connection he has with nobody else. And when you take that away, that can be a huge percentage of the relationship drop because of that intimacy, and that's how men are intimate. Another thing, like I said, talk about it. I mean, I think it would be interesting, or I mean, it'd be wrong for a guy to always expect a woman to be some crazy freak and do, be like Cirque du Soleil every single time. But I'm just saying, just the act of just being intimate that way. Like a lot of women are like, oh, I just like to huddle, I like to cuddle, I like to do that. Yeah, we do too, but we're men. We need more. We're men. Hence why men control relationships, women control sex. Kind of like Kevin Samuel said. Also, stop using as I tell my daughters, stop using filters. They're stupid. They're a lie. And we all know you're using them when you're using them. And trust me, that shows a little bit of something about yourself. If you have to use a filter for every single photo, that tells us something. So if you need to use them, you need to work on why you need to use them, and then eventually stop using them. That's what I'm saying. That's what I tell my daughters. Same thing. Makeup. Women wear makeup. That's a filter in itself. But stop using filters on photos. We know, and it's irritating. This kind of gets to body count. This is me talking to a female here. Body count matters. Plain and simple. Body count matters. And remember, I'm talking to females. It's not like I'm talking to a guy. Okay. That does count. It does guys' body count matters for the woman's body count. It also matters as well. But I'm talking to females. So it happens to females as well, because what ends up happening is men are men, and we can, which still not saying it's okay. I don't think guys should have tons of partners either. And I'll tell my son the same thing. But men can go crazy all they want, and all of a sudden find a woman and be like, man, with her, it's totally different. It's totally different. Women, on the other hand, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for females to fall for a man once they've been intimate, meaning in the bedroom. Fall for a man because of the intimacy and how women express intimacy, and that's why normally women are the ones that are more that less fool around than men do. However, what ends up happening, this is what I've seen, just like I said, I don't have any degree, I don't have anything, whatever, but body count for females, if they end up having more partners, it's really hard for them to have that intimacy when they finally find the guy that they need, because then sex is just something that they've been doing. Whether her current man is great in bed and the best she ever had, the biggest, smallest, perfect, whatever. If once men are different than women mentally dealing with that, and we can just do and forget about it, whatever, find the one and be like, dang, and I'm just saying, just in general, most of the time females can do that, and they lose that intimacy. And if they have a big body count, there's a good percentage of stories that I see at some point, it just doesn't mean that much to them anymore. They're just like, and they don't have that intimacy, and the one thing that men are looking for, they've lost. And I think that high body counts for females can lose that. So the other side of it, men don't want a woman with a big body count, because we don't, we just don't want a used up, what do they call it, hoflation? Candace Owens calls it. We don't want a hoflation girl that's been driven around many times, That's one. Two, a lot of times they end up having a lot of closeness issues. Women have much easier time cheating. So if they've been detached from the intimacy, women who have high body counts get married also tend to have more affairs as well, because it's much easier for them. And sex is just sex. It's not really intimate anymore. Just my take on that. And I told my daughters that, whatever. Me as a dad, I'd also like to see them have less partners too. But ultimately, it's mainly, because diseases for one, and then two, because I don't want to see them have intimacy issues. And also then reframe that when they have kids, to bring up their daughters and sons to realize how important intimacy is. Because if you don't know it, you don't have it. So it really doesn't matter. So that's my take on that. This is a note for women. When you get divorced, depending on, people getting divorced now in the 30s, 40s, average weight for a woman is 175. Where are you at there? And men end up going for younger women when they get divorced. So this is why, if you watch these, I'm sure there's some that are phony, but if you watch these videos out there, they talk about these females that are that have hit the wall, as they call it, or they get a divorce because of some Chad, Juan, or Tyrone, and then all of a sudden, oh man, I'm 45, and I'm messing around with all these young kids, but they're just these 45-year-old, but they toss me and leave me, because those 45-year-olds are looking for 32-year-olds. The 48-year-olds are looking for 35-year-old females, and probably in better shape than you. And I know there's some great women that are in great shape out there, but you need to factor that in there. How bad is your relationship? Can it be fixed? Can you work on it a little more? Because there isn't great people just out there just because they're not your husband anymore or wife, to include that. But if you're 40, if you're 45, you might want to start looking at guys who are 55 years old, because those are the ones that are looking for you. So think about that. I don't know whatever you are now, but we're pretty close in relationship, and I can tell you, just from things that I've seen on, like I said, no real research or whatever, but men end up with younger girls, and a lot of times, women end up with no one or somebody older. But definitely, just remember that the average weight of a woman and the average age, I guess average like in 40s, and what is 175. So just think about that, and then men always go for the younger ladies. So if you're not liking, think about that, because if you're 45 years old, you might be looking for a 60-year-old. Just think about that. I don't know. And if you don't like having sex, then maybe it might be cool. But then again, I don't know. You're going to find somebody like me, I'll probably be still going to have it when I'm 60, or want to anyways. Hopefully I'll be able to. And here's a tip for women then. Only time a man cares about a woman's career is when he's a side bitch, because then she could pay for everything. Men don't care. Men don't care what you do. Now, if you're older, it might be nice to know that you're holding a job down. It's about, oh, that's cool, but we don't give a shit. We don't care at all. It'd be nice to know that if you're 40, that you have a career, not just a job. That'd be cool, because then it shows a maturity level thing. But we don't care what you do. A real man does not care what you do. So don't think you're gonna impress anybody. Man, well, I do this and I have this, and nobody cares. No guy cares. Trust me. Unless he's a side bitch, or he is a bitch, plain and simple, wants you to pay for his stuff. So, and then, and then also, and this goes, okay, so this also goes back, this one is out of order, sorry. So go back to the, body count. Another thing I also tell my daughters, though, too, is when you're young and you're dealing with these young kids, like, I got 24 and 18 right now. When you're in your 20s and you're dealing with 20s, kids that are your age too, I'm sorry. There might be one out of whatever, but I also told them the same thing. Men that age don't know what the hell they're doing anyways. So why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time with these two chump pumps? Get done, they're out, in, out, they don't care. You have a relationship with somebody, I started my relationship when I was 19. Okay, we went through, we worked out, we stayed together. But that's another thing I tell my daughters. Even with the body count issue, whatever, why even do it anyways? You got a chance of diseases, you got a chance to get pregnant, you got a chance of losing the intimacy because of the body count. And for what? For guys that don't even know what the hell they're doing. Because even when you get older, if you're with somebody who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, you guys could work together and you'll be more mature. You'll have more time because you guys are probably living together, or you guys have your own places, instead of, oh, well, we're going to do it in our car. You're going to do it here. You're going to go over here because they're living at their parents' house or something, I don't know, or college dorm, stupid shit like that. Why waste your time? You guys aren't getting anything out of it anyway. All they're doing is welcoming themselves into your domain, taking care of their business, and then walking out. So that's another reason why I tell my daughters, don't mess with that. Okay. Oh, okay. That's right. Okay. So I did two subjects together. Okay. So tip for men. And I said this before, and still got some bad comments about it. Don't date a woman that weighs more than you, boys. Don't date a woman that weighs more than you. Now, that doesn't mean don't be with a woman that weighs more than you. I'm just saying, when you guys first start, don't date a woman that weighs more than you. You got to look at, because at least when I want to get married, I want kids. I also would like to have a good life with my wife. So you're looking at not just the weight, but you're also looking at if she's less weight, she's probably active in something. So that gives me an idea that she's probably got some type of hobby or something, hiking, biking. Maybe she goes to the gym. Maybe she walks. I don't know. Walks dogs. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe she walks her dog around. But at least she's active. So that's 1, 2. Healthy. She's probably more healthy. She's not 50 pounds heavier than what she is, so she'll be healthier. to in better health shape for being able to carry a child for our future. And so being able to go, oh gosh, lost my train of thought. And as you get older, if they're going to get bigger, they're going to get bigger. It doesn't matter. But at that point, your intimacy and your love has grown so much, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. But definitely when you're dating, don't date anybody who weighs more than you. And I think that even goes, that can go, a long ways for sure. So that's just my recommendation. Like I said, got a lot of flack for it because all of a sudden it's like fat shaming. I'm like, it doesn't have anything to do with fat, because they can still be fat. They just don't weigh more than you. If you weigh 250 pounds, don't date a woman that weighs 255 pounds. Okay? But if you're 150 pounds, if you're 150 pounds, don't date a woman that weighs 170. Date a woman that weighs less than you. The same. Let's see. I also believe men should only date women, or should only marry a woman that's willing to take his name. I know. There's been a big push for, I'm keeping my name. That is a red flag for me. That is a huge red flag. Like a lot of people like now you own her or whatever. What are the kids' names going to be? They're going to be hyphenated? And and do not hyphen as a man. Don't hyphen your name. That is, dude, if I meet a guy that hyphens his name, I don't even want to talk to him anymore. Sorry. A girl will hyphen her name, so she has her name and his name, whatever. But the woman so there's it's almost two things too. If you're with a woman and she doesn't even hyphen her name, but she doesn't even take she doesn't even take your name, she just has it. No. And I don't even like the hyphen thing. She needs to take your name, plain and simple. And the thing is with that is, of course, people went off. I said this on another video, a couple of friends, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I've had friends that do it. Yeah, I've had friends that do it too, and it doesn't last. And the reason why it doesn't last is from the get-go, there's a pissing contest on who's the alpha in the relationship. And my wife is not going to be the alpha, plain and simple. She's very strong. Like I said, 95% of the stuff that goes on in the house, but I'm the alpha. I'm the one that holds all, a lot of stuff. She holds. She's bared the children. A lot of decisions, a lot of the future things that are going on. She's not aware of it. Her names are on it, so anything happens, she's going to be getting what she deserves and all that good stuff. But that's why it has nothing to do with property. Like you'll hear that from people like, oh, that's just a form of property, slavery. No, the reason why a woman takes a man's name, the reason why a man asks the woman's father for their hand in marriage, even though that's rare nowadays, but the reason why you do that isn't property. It's that you are telling or asking this man, your daughter, I'm willing to take on the true alpha responsibility of your daughter, to take care of her and take over the duty that you put upon yourself when you decided to have a child. So because of that, she comes over and she takes your name, because now you are the one that is going to be the true alpha. Not the asshole, not the guy that fucking tells her what to do, the guy that is going to take the responsibility of being her man and getting her through what we need to get through. And that's why you ask the father, because he has had the burden of this whole family. And then you ask him, can I take the burden of your daughter onto me? And I will, if you would allow me. And a man does that. That's why a woman gives their name. It isn't property. It isn't that. It's that the man takes on the burden of the woman and their relationship. Okay, so probably get yelled at about that, but Think about it, but I'll tell you what, having a woman that won't take your name, boys, don't do it. Don't do it. Or write me and talk to me. We could talk about it, because that is not what you want. Okay, so boys, even when my son was young, always be nice to nice women, nice girls. Always. I was told this when I was young, and it actually did work a few times. There were a couple of awkward girls, but were always really nice to me. And I was kind of being a dick one time, when I was young. Everybody's making fun. I was like, man, and then I don't know how it came about. I don't know if we were talking about it in this one father, dad on our street. I mean, we just hung out, go to different houses. One guy was a welder, one guy was a mechanic, blah, blah, blah. So we just go around and hang out, few of us would go through, and, it was almost like they were all our dads. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of how our Chicano hood kind of was, You had guys who cooked, he knew how to cook, blah, 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 any other, so we had a bunch of things, bunch of stuff. So I think one of the guys overheard us, and he said, never. He's like, tell me right now, never do that again. He's like, matter of fact, you need to apologize. He's like, because I'm telling you, boys, you never know who these girls are going to be when they grow up. He's like, I can tell you, I know for a fact there's at least 5 girls that I wish I wasn't an asshole to. Because when we got, when we got to high school, a couple of them were fine as hell. But I was such an asshole to them, don't want nothing to do with them. He's like, a couple of them, they weren't gorgeous as can be, but turned out to be a couple of the nicest girls. And I actually would have loved to be able to date them. And I couldn't do it because I was such an asshole, because I was a little shit. He's like, don't. So I did. I went. I apologized. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be those guys that do that, blah, blah, blah. Through all that, guys did that and whatever. And no shit. A couple of those girls ended up being pretty good looking. It'd be like one year, talking from 9th grade to 10th, 11th grade. Sometimes girls will change. They'll develop certain areas, whatever. But just never be mean just to be mean. But especially when the younger you are, because you could move, you could do whatever. A lot of times, people can stay in places for a long time, and shit, you might run into them when you come back home, whatever. Oh, I don't know, Ava. Oh my gosh, how are you? God, oh yeah, you were always so nice to me when everybody was blah 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 blah. Can I buy you a drink? And then who knows? One night stand. Maybe you date. Maybe you exchange information. You end up talking. Never, just boys, men, boys. Never be an asshole to a nice nice lady. Never be an asshole to a nice young lady. I'm telling you, it'll work out for you. And then not only that, but then you have the other option though too. Maybe she's not into you, and maybe you're not into her because maybe she doesn't ever get pretty. But I'll tell you what, you could have some friends, and you know what, she could be same scenario. But hey, this is Michael here. When we were kids, he was like people used to be so mean to me, and because I had a lazy eye before I got it fixed or whatever, and oh man, he was always nice. Here, this is my friend Melissa again. And maybe Melissa's gorgeous, but yet right there, she just dropped about 10 of the best one-liners that ever, and they could be like, oh, that's really nice, so-and-so told me that she had a real hard time, whatever, but there was a few people, and you were one of them that was really stood out. That's really nice of you, but you never know. So don't ever be mean to a nice girl, especially when you're young. Don't tell your sons that, because I know guys can be little shits all the time, so don't do that. And, and awkward girls that are young and they're a little awkward too, they might be awkward forever, but always be nice to them. Because again, they also might have friends, and they also might grow up out of that awkwardness and be badass females, whether looks or whether just personality. Anyway, another thing, men, always be aware of, there's some times where women will not give you the time of day, but, and it kind of works into the last thing, when a woman sees that another woman likes you or is around you or something about you they like, kind of changes up their look on life about you. Like, for instance, that might be one thing, though, too. All of a sudden, you go up to this girl. Oh, hey, can I buy you a drink? No, I'm good. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're not that handsome, whatever. Okay, you go the other way. All of a sudden, here comes that Susie girl. Susie, hey, well, how are you? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since high school. And then turns over, hey, Renee, come here. Renee. And I was like, oh, you know so-and-so? Was like, oh, yeah, you're just trying to buy me a drink. This is the guy I was telling you about. He was always nice to me. And, oh, gosh, I was like, I haven't seen him forever. You look so great. But, yeah, I'm married now, but Renee's not. And this, and the other. And then you turn around like, well, I tried to buy her a drink. She didn't want it. Well, I mean, I didn't know this. I don't know you. So now, she just put a good word in for you. Can I buy you a drink? You never know. But also another thing is, though, too, is like, say if you're around and you're single, or, and you're hanging out and you got some friends, whatever, all of a sudden you're solo and you go try to talk to a female. It's a lot more different if you're hanging out. Say, I don't know, I'm a karaoke hoe, right? Say you hang out with a bunch of karaoke people, a couple of them are some cute girls. If you're sitting there laughing with them, they might be married, they might not be into you that way. There's karaoke friends. But then all of a sudden, this girl across the room who wouldn't give you time of day if you were solo, she sees, oh my gosh, that guy's just making those girls laugh. Oh, he must be something. I'm telling you, men, keep women around you. Keep women around you. Entertain them. Trust me, if you're entertaining them, it'll help you get better at entertaining the woman that you want. Just keep women around you and be nice if you can. Unless you're married, and then be an asshole like I am, because I don't like women around me anyway. Men, prenups. Prenups are huge. I would say highly recommend a prenup. And the way that you need to bring that up is a prenup is the only thing that keeps things fair. Because I can tell you what, a divorce, what's in it for men? This is why I believe divorce is 50-50 now that there's no fault. And majority of divorces are brought on by females, by the female in the relationship, when we're just talking about heterosexuals. So, prenup, obviously we know what that is. And we know people can get angry when you bring it up, this, that, and the other. But divorce, everything in the relationship, in a normal relationship, that a man provides can legally be forced upon the man when they get divorced. Meaning, support. So we're talking about alimony, palimony, any extra funds, insurance, your money before 401ks, stuff like that. And I'm not still saying that you probably, we've been in situations and, if we've almost talked about divorce, I've told her, don't worry, I'm not going to 50-50. I mean, I'm on the channel right here, 50-50, it's equal. She's been with me since the beginning. We've worked together. We've helped each other out. Even when she wasn't working, she was bringing up the family. I was the only one working, but that's what we wanted. We wanted her to bring up the kids. That's why I think our kids are pretty decent adults now. But all that can be child support, and then taking the children away and all that stuff. But all of that is what a man does in a relationship anyways, but now is legally bound when you're not even home anymore. What does men get out of the relationship? Intimacy. Sex. Real fun sex. Companionship. Things like that. There's none of that after a divorce. There's none of that. You ain't gonna get a divorce like, well, 3 times a week, you're gonna gotta allow him to come over and let him fill you up, if you will. Yeah, let's see, it's Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. He gets to come over and have 15 minutes with you to have him do what he will, and you need to do whatever he asks, and be ready to go. If he's not done in 15, you cut him off, but you got to give him 15 minutes. You can get a little timer, do what you got to do, this, that, and the other. If he's done in 5 minutes, you got to give him the rest of the 10 minutes. He can sit there, cuddle, hold you, cry in your arms, do whatever. You've got to be able to do that for him. And then before he leaves, I know this is stupid, but you got to make him a sandwich before he leaves. None of that can we get in a freaking in divorce settlement. We don't get any of that. So everything that the man's supposed to provide, anyways, is in the divorce. So how do females usually lose in divorces, anyways? Unless they're the ones that make more money or whatever. But ultimately, they get everything that a man's supposed to provide, anyways. So there's nothing in it for a man to get a divorce, unless he just wants the hell out and he's got a new chick or whatever. But still, the way the rest of the proceeding is going to go is you're going to be paid and providing now for her, and then the new person that you're going to try to get. And women on the other side, they ain't giving up anything that a man needs. That's what I'm saying. So prenup is extremely important, I think. And prenups can be totally, even if you're like really young and you get married really young, which also I wouldn't recommend getting married before 25. Another philosophy on that real quick, because this is getting long. So I read somewhere you learn about yourself and about life from 13 to 18. You learn about as much stuff from 18 to 23. So you think about whatever age you're at. If you're a younger listener out there, remember when you were 13, how different were you at 18? Well, from 18 to 23, imagine changing from your 13 to 18, changing as much as you did from 18 to 23. Now after 23, I'm sure you continue to keep learning about yourself, but at 23, that's kind of after college or almost out of college. In some cases, if you go to the military, that's 4 years out of high school, 4 or 5 years out of high school. So then you're looking at maybe you did 4 years in the military. So you've grown, whatever. But at least by that age, you kind of have to start making a career out of something, right? So then ultimately you're looking at, you have to start making a life, and that includes marriage and whatever. So I would say at least 25, no younger than 25 getting married. That's just my take on that. But even at 25, you can have some stuff established already. You could have some investments established, whatever. And it doesn't necessarily mean a prenup has to be that everything that you have goes, but you could be somewhat sensible and say, hey, look, this divorce, and come off from that point of view. Divorces are just horrendous. And if you're not worried about getting divorced, then you shouldn't be worried about a prenup. The same argument is held for people that are for prenups that are against prenups. Oh, so you just think we're going to get a divorce? Oh, so you think I'm going to have to use the prenup? Same fucking argument. So stick with it. And if you guys, if prenup's going to end your relationship, then end it. Plain and simple. All right, boys. Well, I'm out of here. I think I got all that. It kind of was a long one, but it's been a while since I put one on, so maybe people will listen to this. I'm going to try to keep these down to like maybe 40 from now on. But I was just doing a lot of research on, not research like reading stats and stuff like that, but just reading research, doing research, talking to some people, looking at some videos, looking at a lot of videos on YouTube, stories. Some of them are real, some of them aren't. But a lot of it I got from a couple of people I met that were married for 40 plus years. Got some questions from them. I did get kicked out of the bar for it. But it's because somebody thought I was talking politics, and I was just talking to them about their marriage. I don't know, it was dumb. And so, but that's what I do for you guys. I'm willing to get kicked out of the bar for you. But it wasn't 86. I just got kicked out of the bar. Yeah, so I'll try to keep them down a little more. Maybe get some decent songs. Hopefully the song wasn't too bad. But like, subscribe. Man, like I said, this is the Tez Mania Reactions channel. Like, subscribe, leave comments, let me know. Love to hear the negatives, because it will help me get better to maybe counteract or look at what you're talking about, maybe see things differently. A lot of times I've done that, and I still hold my thoughts on that, but sometimes I find a better way to express it or explain it, or realize I explained it wrong. But usually, anyways, y'all enjoy. Stay in school.